Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today's guest is Dwan Bent Twyford. Dwan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Adam. I'm excited to be on here today.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about today, so definitely want to get into your business. Where you're founder of Dwanderful, and we're going to get into that, what you're doing in real estate as well. And I guess just to get us kicked off, we'll start this episode the way that we start them all, with our Mission Matters Minute. So Dwan, at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's what we do. Dwan, what mission matters to you?
Oh, gosh. I think for me is creating generational wealth. That's what I focus on. Teaching people how to become investors and then work for themselves and then, build like a little mini empire if they want and create generational wealth.
That's awesome. When did you get either introduced to or into this concept? Like, where'd that start for you?
Real estate or generational wealth?
Generational wealth. I think that's interesting.
So I've been investing for almost 35 years, and I'm 65 now. And when I got around 50, my kids are growing up, and, there's grandkids. And I thought, you know what? I don't come from a family of wealth. My family were like factory workers. I thought, we're making so much money in real estate, and the Bible says it's a blessing to leave generational wealth and stuff. So you know what? I'm going to focus on helping other families that maybe came from a similar background as mine with no education, no nothing, and get involved in real estate, and then they can build generational wealth for their family, because somebody's got to be the first one. And my husband and I are like, well, his dad didn't do it, my dad didn't do it, so we are the first ones in our family to become millionaires on both sides. So we thought, we're going to teach our kids and pass that down.
Wow. And for you, how did real estate? There's a lot of different ways that you could have gone, on that journey. What introduced you to real estate?
Well, I was 30. I had a baby. I was married. When my baby was 8 months old, her dad and I unexpectedly split up. And, at the age I am now, having kids at 30 back in 1988 was really old. Like, all my friends had kids, out of high school. And I waited so I could be like the Girl Scout mom, the cookie mom, the homeroom mom, the field trip mom. And then now all of a sudden I'm single and I don't have any job skills. And I've worked in the bar business for my entire 20s. And I have a kid, and I was like, man, I need to find something I can do from home and raise my daughter and still do the things I want to do. And Adam, honestly, it was like, I am truly an accidental investor. I met a couple guys, oh, yeah, we buy houses, we fix them up, we sell them. And my mind was like, oh, they fix them up, so they decorate. I like to decorate, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to decorate houses. So I found a foreclosure, and I moved into it. And after I painted it and put in carpet and had custom-made blinds and decorated, and I said, it needs kitchen, everything's avocado, everything's green. And I realized at that very moment, after I was already in the house, that decorating and rehabbing were not the same thing. And I started going to Home Depot, and I took classes, and I learned how to lay tile, and I tiled the kitchen and the bathrooms, and I learned how to build cabinets, and I put in the cabinets, and I learned how to put in sinks and toilets, and I basically rehabbed the whole house myself with a little bit of help from my mom and my sister and a few of my friends. And I made $22,000, which had been like 1991 or two, which was an entire year's salary at that time. And I thought, wow, I made all that money. I really enjoyed doing this. My daughter was with me every day. And every time I would take a sledgehammer and tear a cabinet off the wall, I picture my ex-husband right there.
Oh, man.
I thought it was good therapy, too. I feel great.
Oh, my gosh. What an amazing story.
And then I did it again. And then I thought, 5 years on, I'm like, dang, I guess I'm a real estate investor.
Wow. What was it like with that first house, and to just be going at it and not necessarily know what you're doing? Because a lot of people will listen to this, and I'm one of those people, and I make excuses too for some things, and I'm like, but hearing these stories is just so helpful to me, and I'm sure hopefully to the audience as well. What was it like when you didn't know what you're doing, or you're trying to figure it out? I can't even imagine you're going to Home Depot and they're like, oh, what's going on, Dwan? What do you got for me today?
I'm telling you, Adam, there was a point, this was in Boynton Beach, Florida, where I rehabbed my first house. And I remember so vividly one day I'd taken a class on something, and I was going over there like every day, and I would grab a worker and say, listen, I need to do this. Can you just explain?
I know they knew you well, Dwan. I know
I
they
remember
did.
one day walking down the aisle, and the guy made eye contact with me, and he turned around and went the other way and went back in the break room. And I thought, I just got like the Home Depot guy just totally ghosted me.
Dang.
So when I bought the very next house, I said, hey, it's right in the middle of the Home Depot here in Boynton Beach and the one in Boca. They're like, you should go to the one in Boca. They could teach you more things over there. And they literally tried to get rid of me.
But you persevered. What do you think was the reason for your success? Like, why do you think you were able to push through?
Well, I really did have a dream of wanting to do all those things because my mom did all those things with me as a kid. Girl Scouts, Brownies, field trips. And I really wanted to do that. And I was 30, so I was smart enough to realize if I take a job, I'll probably have it till she turns 18, so I will be 50. And I don't know how old you are, but when you're 30, 50 seems like ancient. And I thought if I work for myself, I can at least try it. If it doesn't work, I can get a job. But if I get a job, I knew I would stay in the safe path. So I thought, I'm going to try it on my own. If I don't make it, I can get a job. If I get a job, I know I'll be there. And then I'll be 50, and my daughter will be raised. And what will I be doing? Like, what will I be possibly doing? So I think fear of getting stuck in a job instead of working for myself, which I'd always thought would be fun to do, but never actually had the guts to implement it. And then I was just throwing a big giant curveball, and I thought, well, now's the time to put on my big girl pants and make something happen. And if I don't do it now, I probably won't ever do it. So I just did.
Wow. Let's fast forward a bit. How many properties through the years have you, just roughly, have you rehabbed or worked through? Like, just talk to me a little bit more about, like, your present day business.
So over the years of rehabbing and wholesaling and subject twos and all that, I've done over 2,000 properties.
Wow. I thought it was a big number.
Yeah. And my husband and I decided to buy some commercial in a little town in Clinton, Iowa. That's right there on the Mississippi River where he was raised. And they're doing one of those, like, bring back the downtown projects. So 5 years ago, we got involved in that. And now we own 28 parcels of commercial land, and we're rehabbing buildings, and we're bringing back the downtown.
Wow, what an amazing story. And so what are you helping people, and by the way, it's pretty obvious that Dwanderful, the name of your company, is a mix between your first name and Wonderful, but, like, how'd you come up with this? Like, were you driving one day and you're like, it's a wonderful world. Like, take me into your world, Dwan.
You know what, Adam? I had been being guest on podcasts for like the last 15 years, and they were always audio, like this one, and I was on a lot of them. And then one day, I don't know, 5 years ago, I thought, I don't know why I don't have a podcast. At this point, I'm investing 30 years. I've done thousands of deals. I feel like I know just about everything, to get started, and the things I don't know about, I'll bring guests on to talk about. And so I just sat down one day and I told my husband, I said, you know what, I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to build a brand around like me and my pink hair. And I had turned 60, so I wanted to do something amazing. And so I talked to one of my guys that helps me on my website. I said, I've been looking at all these names that everyone uses their name or some little, like yours is, Mission Matters. And he's like, you should do a play on your name. And as soon as he said that, I was like, you know what, that's a really good idea. So then I was like, Dwantastic, like Dwan and Fantastic. And then I was like, Dwanderful. And then I was like, my people could be Dwandonaires, like millionaires. Like, I came up with this whole vocabulary of like 15 words. And then I actually put a Facebook post up. I said, hey, I'm going to start a podcast, and I'm going to use one of these names, and I want everybody to vote and everybody to love Dwanderful.
Oh, my gosh. I love it.
So that was it. The most wonderful real estate podcast ever. Like, what more could you ask for?
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing.
So now I'm in my 5th year, and I'm at like episode 400-ish or so.
Wow.
And I've got over 1 million
Congratulations,
downloads.
by the way. That's absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
thank
Like,
you.
I feel like the podcasting community is just one of the best communities out there for
It
creating
is.
content and just people and collaborating and everything else. I just think it's a great forum to get your content out there. What is like building a brand? I always talk to people like that about this, by the way, and it's good to have you on the show to kind of give your perspective, because on my end, like, we launch a lot of podcasts on the production side. We've launched over 200 shows. So I'm always telling people, like, you should launch a podcast, but I might sound biased because I'm in the launch a podcast business as well. So I like hearing when another podcaster comes on that I have no relation to. We just met. Like, what has it meant to you to build your podcast? What has that journey been like, and what are some of the benefits that have maybe come to it from you? Or for you?
Well, the first thing is I thought, okay, I'm Dawn Benton Twyford, and I also have the trademark on the Queen of Short Sales. And actually, back in the 90s, I registered the term short sales as it applies to real estate investing. So I kind of coined the term that everybody uses today. And I thought, well, I don't want to do short sale anything because it seems too limited. And I'm in so many areas of investing. And I want to, but I really like, mostly, Adam, I like to help new people that are new, because I was super new. You got to remember, I'm before the internet. There was no internet. We didn't even have pagers. There was nothing. If I needed to make a phone call, I had to stop at a payphone. And there was nobody teaching or training. And then now there's so many people teaching and training, and there's so many people that I personally know of that did 2 deals and wrote a program. I was like, well, that person can't help you learn. They don't know what they're doing. They're good marketers. They know nothing about investing. So that kind of made me think, you know what? I need to start a really good podcast with a good moral compass and teach people this is how it really is. Here's how it works. Everyone can do it. I was a broke single mom. In fact, my last job, I was fired from Denny's. So think about that. Fired from Denny's. I thought, okay, I got nowhere to go after this. I might as well just try it. So then the podcast was like, okay, so what do I want to do? And I'm fun, and I was turning 60, and I dyed my hair purple, and I thought, okay, I want to create this really fun brand and lighthearted, but also really educational. So I started messing around with the name, and I came up with Dwanderful, and then I built a website, and it's kind of pink and purple and gold are the colors, and now I've got pink hair, and I just kind of made a brand around being amazing and just being Dwanderful and having a Dwanderful day and just meeting people where they are. If this is where you're at, I can take you from there up to this next level. You just got to step into my zone.
That's amazing. What do you think has helped you to teach others as well? When they, people that go through your program or people that work with you, why do you feel like some of them are successful? I'm not trying to, talk negatively about anybody else's program or anything like that. And I know you're not either, but I'm just saying that's not why I asked the question. I'm just curious about, what are some of the benefits or some of the things that make your program and working with you just so unique, other than it being Dwanderful, of course.
Of course. I mean, what else could you ask for, really?
The given, of course.
But you know what, Adam, back when I started, when my husband and I went through that super unexpected divorce, I actually lost my car and my house in foreclosure, and all that stuff happened to me, and nobody came knocking on my door and hey, let me help you. There was nothing. And so I was just feeling obviously super down, very low point in my life. What am I going to do? I need to work for myself. I want to take care of my daughter. Then I meet these people, and they used to tell me, go to West Palm Beach and write down all the foreclosures and go door knocking and tell people you want to, buy their house and you're going to, fix it up. But I thought, again, it was decorating. And after I did just only 5 or 6 deals, I thought, gosh, there's so many people in foreclosure, and there are no RIA groups or anything in South Florida yet. And I'm like, people need to know how to do this, because if I can do this, anybody can do this. And I'm meeting hundreds of people a month, and I can only do 1 deal at a time. So way in the beginning, when I barely knew anything, I put a little ad in the paper and said, if you want to learn how to buy and rehab foreclosures, and I did a little seminar in my living room with 10 people. And I just said, look, I don't know a lot, but I know that when I go door knocking, that there's 99 people, and I can help one, and I don't see anybody else investing really. And I just want to get people out there to help other people because I went through it and it really sucked. And I don't want to see that happen to anybody else. So way in the beginning, I just felt a heart for teaching, I think, because I went through it.
Yeah.
And then as I got bigger, people started having me speak at RIA groups, and then I wrote a book, and then I was Wiley Publishing, then they asked me to write another book, and then I wrote a book with Steve Forbes called Successonomics, and then they were like, oh, let's put you on TV. Then I had an infomercial, and just everything just kept growing. And my motto from day one was people before profits. And I just stuck to my guns on making sure the deal's good and it helps the other person. And sometimes I don't make any money. Sometimes I make a gob of money. I just stuck to my people before profits, teach everybody, meet them where they're at, bring them up through the real estate food chain, help them create generational wealth. And I don't know, it turned into this really crazy, wild journey that never did I think would happen the day I went to Home Depot and took that first class on how to lay tile.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. It really is a wonderful life. I love it. It's amazing. Dwan, first off, I really appreciate you coming on the show. This has been so much fun and getting to know more about you, your business, really your journey. I mean, I think it's so inspiring. How do people, I know there's people listening here that are going to want to follow you, listen to your show, your podcast, and also to connect with you and your team. How do people do that?
Super easy. They can just go to Dwanderful.com, and right there at the top of the page it says click here and you'll get a free ebook on wholesaling and another little ebook on short sales and kind of a few things that sort of help you take your first step. And I've got webinars people can watch and just all kinds of training stuff because I'm just really focused on helping people, just work for themselves, I guess. Really today working for the man's not the same. Like when I was a kid, my parents, you worked your whole life in a factory, so you worked for the man. And now, people keep jobs for a few years and every company's going in and out of business, and I feel like there's not a lot of stability in financing. So I'm like, you know what? Work for yourself and build your own little mini empire. You don't have to worry about other people.
Yeah. That's great. Well, Dwan, so for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll put the website link and all that other good stuff in the show notes, so you can just click on it and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we're releasing new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Dwan, really appreciate you coming on the show. This has been a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks, Adam. You're so much fun, too.